Want to teach your kids financial literacy, but not sure where to start? Greenlight can help. With Greenlight, parents can keep an eye on kids' spending and saving, while kids and teens use a card of their own to build money confidence. As a parent, you can send instant money transfers, set up chores, automate allowance, and more. It's a convenient way to run your household, customized to your family's needs, and the easy way to raise financially smart kids. Get started with Greenlight today and get your first month free at greenlight.com/ACAST.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds. At Mint Mobile, we like to do the opposite of what Big Wireless does. They charge you a lot, we charge you a little. So naturally, when they announced they'd be raising their prices due to inflation, we decided to deflate our prices due to not hating you. That's right. We're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
So in this podcast, I've talked about mindfulness or meditation on a couple of different occasions. In the last episode, we discussed how trying to be omnipresent, trying to be multiple places at once, scatters us in ways that removes us from our present reality. Sometimes it's because we're just on our phones, or we allow our minds to travel to the past, or travel to the future. Our minds are constantly departing somewhere or constantly running around the toy store, and we're the parent that just lets their kid do whatever it wants to. And when you see these kids in public, you just want to snatch them up yourself like, little boy, what are you doing? Yet we don't do that with ourselves. We don't stop our thoughts in the middle of the aisle and say, what are you doing? Where are you going? We are constantly trying to multitask. Or maybe we get carried away by feelings of sadness or anxiety without even realizing it, without even realizing where it came from or when it came. So for today's layover, I thought it would be great to have a moment of gently getting the mind's attention and calmly bringing it to the now, the present. This helps us take a moment to be aware of the now, but also builds a habit of becoming aware throughout the day. If you've never done this before, if you've never meditated, don't worry. I'm not an expert either. This is not a moment for you to pride or guilt yourself, but to just be here. So we're going to go on airplane mode for a few moments. If you want to come back to this episode later, that's fine. Whenever you're ready, just make this available offline in whatever podcast platform you're using, and then turn your phone to airplane mode. I know this makes some of you very anxious. You may feel like you're missing out on something, but just go with it. Put your phone on airplane mode. That way you won't be distracted by incoming calls or your mind wondering if you just got a notification. In this exercise, your mind will wander off, and that's fine. That doesn't make you a bad parent. That's what minds do. They wander off. Don't be mad at the mind or disappointed with the mind. Just gently bring it back to the present. Just use this time to return home from wherever your mind has departed to. That's sort of what I mean at the end of each podcast when I say always fly home. So always come back to the present. Always come back to what matters after you've been running around all over the world, whether literally or figuratively. figuratively, always return back to what matters, whether that be in faith or in family or yourself. Always return home. And I've found that counting my breaths during this time helps as an anchor to focus on. So at some point in the exercise, we'll do that. So we'll begin now, and if you want to put this on pause until you find a place to just rest and sit, that's fine. Find a place to sit comfortably, whether that be on the floor or on the edge of your bed, in a closet. I've found that this is actually really good for when I'm on a plane. I hear the hum of the plane around me, and I'm literally disconnected from the earth for a while, not paying for the Wi-Fi. I'm just on airplane mode. Just look ahead, not looking at anything in particular, just a soft focus on whatever's in front of you. And notice any sounds around you, just becoming aware of the space that you're in. And just begin to take nice, deep breaths. Deep breath in and a deep breath out. Nice deep breath in and a deep breath out. And breathing in, for me, almost seems like an acknowledgement of the present, whatever good or bad that has been. And the breathing out is an acknowledgement that for this moment, I'm letting that go. And whenever you're ready, on the next breath out, just allow your eyes to close. And then you just want to allow your breaths to return to just a normal pattern. Not making any real effort. And then just noticing how your body breathes. Feel the chest or the stomach expanding as the air comes in, and noticing the air leave. And like I said, if it helps, you can count the breaths, starting at 1 on the in, and 2 as the air goes out, and then 3, all the way up to 10. And then just come back around to 1. And if your mind has wandered off, that's totally fine. Just notice that and return to your breaths. It's very natural for your mind to want to wander off. And when it does, just take note of that and then bring your attention back to the breath. And if your mind has been distracted, just see that thought, or hold it, and then let it go. And now, just let go of that attention on the breath. And just allow the mind to do whatever it wants, wherever it wants to go, whatever it wants to think about. Now just scan through the body, just noticing how it feels. Any tension or discomfort, or even relaxation or light feeling. Just notice that starting at the bottom of your feet and then up to the legs and all the way up to the top of your head. And whenever you're ready, on your next out breath, just gently allow your eyes to open. And just notice how you feel. Maybe your mind wandered off several times in this exercise, and that's fine. It's totally natural. It happens. It's a practice that I'm growing in as well. This is just to build a habit of becoming aware of what our mind is doing, not only in this time, but throughout the day and ultimately throughout our lives. And we'll find that oftentimes those feelings begin to dissipate. They lessen in their intensity when we simply notice that they're there and where they came from. Not saying that always takes care of the problem altogether, but it definitely brings down the intensity. And feel free to return to this episode, or just take that time on your own with a timer or no timer at all. I've often found myself, when I'm anxious or sad, or I don't know, maybe I'm a little irritable, to just take that time to sit and become aware of myself. And it helps a lot, a whole lot. So that's it. I hope this layover has been helpful for you. You could be going anywhere in the world, but you're right here. So thank you for choosing the Flights and Feelings podcast. Remember to always fly home.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
The Real Housewives is a guilty pleasure for most, but if you're looking to not feel guilty about that pleasure, tune in to Everything Iconic with me, Danny Pellegrino, where I break down all the messy moments and behind-the-scenes antics of Bravo's popular franchise. And on Everything Iconic, I also interview celebrity guests like Kelly Ripa, Keke Palmer, Drew Barrymore, Cameron Diaz, and more about their guilty pleasures, their past work, and so much more. So if you're pop culture obsessed and find yourself watching way too much reality TV like me, tune in to Everything Iconic with Danny Pellegrino, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.